Good morning, Falcons, and welcome back to CTV.
Today, Shakespeare comes alive for students in Ashland, and our trap team proves they are explosive as ever. And of course, Sarah is here for another Around the PVL.
Welcome to the show. Autania, I don't know about you, but I've been waiting 4 very long years for what's about to happen on May 3rd.
Well, assuming you're talking about the field trip to Six Flags with Mr. Hild and Miss Bratton, I as well have been waiting in anticipation, but I'll have to wait until next year.
Well, the wait will be worth it, Autania. But good news for calculus students, as you are invited on the trip as well. So go see Mr. Hild or Miss Bratton if you're interested.
Speaking of fun trips, the Colfax Shakespeare Club took a trip to Ashland, Oregon, where they were treated to live theater.
Reporter Davianna Ackerman was embedded with the club and has this story.
On one early morning, Shakespeare's clubmates packed their bags for a scenic and educational trip to beautiful Ashland, Oregon. We waited in long car rides with pretty views of Shasta and Meadows. Once the club arrived, we were sent on a journey to explore the quaint town of Ashland. Our schedule soon switched from Bova to Shakespeare education, as we learned from Darcy Darrens about our first play, As You Like It, and as well as the importance of Shakespearean culture in today's society.
I believe Shakespeare is still relevant in today's society because of the stories that are told. They're timeless, universal stories of family, of power, influence, authority. You have so many elements in Shakespeare, and there's so many opportunities of ways to tell the story.
After watching As You Like It by William Shakespeare and Hairspray by John Waters, I asked Sarah Schofer her views on culturing kids to Shakespeare and why it's beneficial for kids to go on a trip such as this.
Oh my gosh, it so is. It doesn't seem like it is because of the language, but it really is because Shakespeare's themes, they're like universal human emotions that no matter where you live on the earth, you experience these things as well as through time. So love, compassion, loss, tragedy, he speaks to those things that all humans go through universally. So this trip is an incredible amount of fun, and you guys get a little bit of freedom to explore on your own, as well as actually seeing the plays on stage is something that it helps you bring the plays alive and makes it more, I think, enjoyable overall. And it's a really cool experience because some people have never been to a play before. So.
Ashland had left us in wonderment about not only Shakespeare's profound literature, but our decisions that'll shape our future when we return to our small town. We had a fun time, but now it has come to an end. On behalf of the club, we'd love for new members who are interested to join next year. On the search for my adventures in this small town, it's Davianna Ackerman from CTV signing off.
An absolutely wonderful experience for those students, and I only wish I could have gone myself.
There just isn't anything out there like going to a great show with your friends, is there, Autania?
There definitely is something magical about it. But we would now like to take this time to congratulate and celebrate the students that put in the hard work and effort necessary to be part of the 2019 Alpha Omega class.
We know how much work it takes to reach an achievement such as that. So from all of us here at CTV, we salute you and say thanks to the Parents Club for making the ceremony so nice, and of course to the teachers who took the time to introduce each student. Colfax High School has established a new vaping and tobacco policy. The policy is in effect as of Monday, April 29th. Autania, can you fill us in on the details?
Yes, Max. The policy reads as follows. In addition to school consequences, the smoking of e-cigarettes, vaping devices, or the chewing of tobacco is a misdemeanor crime that may result in a monetary citation of $50. Please do not bring or use any vaping devices, cigarettes, or chewing tobacco on the way to and from school or while at school. Prohibited products include any tobacco, nicotine, cigarettes, cigars, miniature cigars, smokeless tobacco, snuff, chew, clove cigarettes, batel, electronic and/or vaping devices. The consequences for violating the policy are as follows. The first offense, you must complete a vaping education module, attend Saturday school, and sign a letter of agreement not to use any tobacco products or be subject to a second offense, which includes a 3-day suspension, automatic enrollment in the 8 weeks tobacco substance abuse program, and the third offense is a 5-day suspension and a principal's review of whether an alternate site needs to be considered.
Thank you, Autania. I think that spells it out pretty clearly.
Falcons. Kickoff for the annual Powder Puff football game is 6:30 on May 10th at Marston Stadium. And for all you seniors, don't forget the senior salute will be shown during senior sunset at the north end zone following the game, something you do not want to miss.
Prom is one of the most magical nights, Autania, but it could not be done without the hard work of this year's junior leadership team. So big thank you to them for all their hard work in making a great night happen.
Well, Max, Jake is giving us the word now that Sarah is all set over on the sports stage now.
Let's see what she has for us today.
Hey there, Colfax, and welcome back to Around the PVL. While we are away, many sports have reached the end of their season or are on the brink of playoffs, so we have a lot to catch you up on. On the track, our girls have been cleaning up with standouts Aaliyah McCord and Grace Bliss in the hurdles, and relay squad leading the way to a perfect 8-0 team mark. The boys have also been putting up good numbers and staying in the PVL race, holding on to third place, with high-flying pole vaulter Preston Sladek continuing to reach new heights by surpassing the 15-foot mark and keeping the school record of 15 foot 6 inches in his sights. Speaking of Preston, he and Grace Bliss qualified for the Sacramento Meet of Champions, this meet that showcased the finest track athletes in all divisions for the entire region. Preston placed 4th with his jump of 15 foot 2 inches, and Grace Bliss placed 5th in the 300 hurdles. Being in the top 5 at the Meet of Champions is a major accomplishment. Congratulations, and we salute you for representing Colfax proudly. Tennis recently wrapped up their season, finishing 3rd in the PVL, which gave them a 4th seed, taking on 5 seed Argonaut with a home match yesterday. This past Thursday and Friday, the individual PVL tournament took place and players competed to make the sections in Stockton, and make it they did. Dynamic doubles duo Jake Green and Tucker Klopotic took 2nd in PVL and secured a slot in sections, who will be accompanied by PVL singles winner, yours truly. Now for a CTV Sports special from Autania Mierow, Sam Jameson, and a camera op Max Wolff on a sport that is not nearly as recognized as others, but still brings full force to competition and showcases sharp-eyed shooters from the Colfax Trap team.
Colfax High School Trap Shooting Team is an opportunity for young people to participate in a supervised NRA certified shooting sport.
So trap's really a self-competitive sport, so you can't really, I guess, win unless you're one of the top 3. So it's really kind of like you compete against yourself a lot and you try to improve your self scores. But if you do super well, then there's always a top 3 who get medals at the end of each shoot.
Trap emphasizes gun safety and skill development in clay target shooting. The intent is to teach good sportsmanship, individual responsibility, self-discipline, positive academic progress, and personal commitment.
Trap's important for kids as a high school team because it teaches kids to be not scared of guns, and it teaches them to enjoy shooting guns.
The Trap team competes every other Saturday, with Kenna Anderson in the lead with overall wins for this team with a score of 285. He also took a 3rd place medal with a 99 out of 100 and an additional 48 out of 50 in a tiebreaker shoot-off.
So basic day of competitions is you show up at about 7 in the morning. Everybody does their practice rounds. There's like a couple hundred kids there. Everybody goes out and shoots practice. Then they go out and do our first round of competitions. Each round is 25, so we shoot our first 50 in the morning and then normally our second 50 in the afternoon.
The entire team places 5th overall in varsity trap teams, meanwhile also competing against teams across the state and a variety of other trap clubs. If you are interested in joining the team to make their next season even better, visit the Colfax Trap Team website. I'm reporter Autania Mierow with Max Wolff and Samuel Jameson, signing off.
Out on the diamond, our softball team is looking like they will contend for some postseason play. They had a big wins over Foothill and Lyndhurst and a decisive victory over Cross River rival Bear River by a score of 21-3. They are set to play center at home on Wednesday and Bear River again on the road on May 3rd. Baseball has been very busy as well. They are on a 13-game winning streak and hold an exceptional 10-1 record in the PVL. Their efforts have landed them in the SACB's top 20 for all of the greater Sacramento area high schools. They have 2 big games coming up against Center at home today and Thursday. This should be a great test for the Falcons as Center recently played second place Marysville to 1 run. Colfax will close out PVL play with 2 games against Marysville on May 6th and 7th, and these games could decide the league championship. Not to mention, it is Dog Days once again on Monday, the 6th, where Mr. Lundberg will be cooking free hot dogs for students. So head out to Quigley Field, get to know your team, enjoy some championship caliber baseball, and support your fellow Falcons as they contend for possibly another PVL banner. Last Tuesday, our boys golf team beat Center by over 50 strokes, but couldn't keep the momentum going as they fell to Bear River in a close match by a mere 12 strokes. The Falcons are still in line for a share of the PVL title as long as they can turn in a top 2 performance at the PVL tournament this week. This would be the first title since Mr. O'Connell's 2009 team brought home the banner. No matter what happens, the Falcons have qualified for their divisional playoffs starting on May 6th. The swim team wrapped up their PVL season with the boys placing 2nd overall and the girls came in 4th. Gabe and Elias qualified for the maximum 5 events for section championships, while Gary Thomas qualified for 3. The relay team of Gavin, Gary, Tyler Beleza, and Elijah Hantman will also be looking to make some noise at the section meet on May 3rd at Tokay High School in Lodi. That's all I have for you today, Colfax. Coming up next week, we are going out with a bang and giving you the lowdown on the playoffs and a special playoff edition of Around the PVL. I'm Sarah Detweiler, and I will see you next week.
Thank you, Sarah. So Max, what was it like shooting trap? No pun intended.
Oh, I thought we agreed on no more puns, Autania. Who is writing this?
You. It was you.
Right. Well, to answer your question, it was super fun. And it was really cool to see my classmates out there shooting things out of the sky. Definitely something that you don't see every day.
Which is why trap is such a cool and skill-intensive sport. But while Colfax, it has once again been a pleasure. I'm Autania Mierow.
And I'm Max Wolff. Take care, Falcons.